West Side, worldwide. Welcome to Story Time with OG LA Ron. Please don't forget to smash that like button, comments, and subscribe. Go to the website and please don't forget to get that merch. Today, I want to do a piece on the real gangsters of Las Vegas, which is a guy, they the dynamic duo of Vegas. The name is Butch and Ricky Crockett. They not brothers, but they was good hustling partners. You know, one thing about Vegas, Las Vegas have a bunch of hidden gems. They have a bunch of stories that haven't been developed. And today I'm going to bring out this story because this guy is one of the first guys that Suge Knight was affiliated with from Las Vegas. When Suge Knight was going to UNLV, these guys was already running Vegas. I know a lot of guys know him from the streets and they know him from under prison, but they don't really know that Ricky Crockett is my brother-in-law, and I haven't seen Butch in a long time, but I know they had went to the feds. But man, to even actually bring these guys up in the forefront, I got permission to even talk about these guys. They did Fed time. I don't know if they did state time, but these guys is some of the celebrity guys that's from Las Vegas that they've been living in Vegas all their life. They got a lot of kids in Vegas. Ricky and Butch. I know that we have me and Puncho, which is my brother Ron and Puncho. You have Cheese and Chauncey. You have Butch and Ricky. And one thing about these guys, man, the first time I ever seen Ricky was one night. Me and Melvin Butler, we was over in front of Melvin Butler house, and he was telling us that he had a connection to take to Vegas and to deal with some of the local Vegas guys. And he also had the connection with Rayford out of DC, that he was supplying Rayford, and he was supplying Ricky and them in Vegas. He met Ricky and them in Vegas. So one night we in front of Melvin house, and Melvin tell me, say, man, I need a van. So he say, man, if anybody can get a van so we can go to Vegas. But I didn't know what he was going to Vegas for. So I said, man, I think I can get a van. He said, I'll give you $1,000. So I went and got my mom van. And we went and got loaded up, and we loaded the van up and everything. I didn't know what he was doing. I just wanted to get my 1,000. So I had never been to Vegas, but I heard a dude named I think his name was Gino. Gino was telling me about Vegas when I was in jail, and he was telling me about how him and his guys used to be in Vegas. But you know, me, Melvin, Scrap, and 2-3 young ladies, Melvin was in his vet, and it's a 2-seater. Then me and Scrap and another guy and another girl, we jumped in the van and we driving to Vegas. But I didn't know, how long it was going to take. I didn't know that this was going to be 4 or 5 hours. And we all the way up, we playing. We opened the door, throwing water and everything out, and stopping at the hamburger stand. But I didn't know this joker was had something in the back of the van. So we get all the way up to Vegas. We playing and everything, but I didn't even know how serious this was. We get up to Vegas, and we get a room. We spend the night, and as soon as we get to Vegas, I parked the van, and the police pulled Melvin over for speed and doing donuts in the street. So I was like, wow. So we parked the van, we got out, we spent the night. So the next day, Melvin went somewhere in his vet, and he came back, and he had a guy. We was in the bottom of the garage where the cars parked, and I see a guy come with a Jerry curl and a Cadillac with rims on it, and I see that Melvin had gave him something, but I didn't know what it was. So this was the first time I ever seen Ricky Crockett, and this was the first time that I ever seen him. And years later, I ended up knowing that he was supposed to have something to do with the 702 group. I think those are his nieces or something like that. But to make a long story short about Butch and Ricky, I know that these guys need to make a movie about these two guys and how they was already And I think after I went with Melvin to Vegas to meet to do whatever what they did, years later I end up moving to Vegas, and I end up seeing Ricky and Butch. These guys was already having big money. They was already in Benzes and Vets, and they was the talk of the town. All of the women loved them. All of the women was on them. Gang bangers, and everybody was talking about Butch and Ricky. So when I remember back in the days when me and Puncho, we used to just we couldn't do nothing but look. We couldn't do nothing but fantasize on one date how we'll be able to follow in the footsteps of Ricky and Butch, because a lot of guys that's who they looked up to back in the days. And Butch was real big, like a bodybuilder, and Ricky was like looked like a play basketball for UNLV, and they used to be up at Doolittle, and I seen Butch, Ricky, and them again up at they had a thing called Circus Burgers right there by the Western Union, where people used to get money. I send money back and forth out of town, and that's when I seen Ricky and Butch again. But man, I end up liking these guys. I end up liking to see these guys, and every time we would go to the fights, even when I didn't live in Vegas, and I did live in Vegas, I would always see Butch and Ricky at the fights, and Ricky end up. I ended up marrying one of Ricky's girlfriend's sister, and that's how I became brother-in-law with Ricky through the family. But man, just to talk about these guys, man. I didn't talked about a lot of guys, man. I done talked about Little D and them out the Bay, Little Boy George and them out the New York, Texas, but these guys is the original black gangsters of Las Vegas, and I'm going to put this documentary out on them, and I just want to expose how these guys was in the game, and Suge was right there with them. And I think Ricky was one of the first guys that took Suge to a record label, and Dr. Dre was downstairs. This was all going to be verified. We don't just talk about no. We talk about small minds, talk about events. Brilliant minds talk about small minds, talk about people. Brilliant minds talk about events. And this is what we do. We talking about Ricky and Butch, one of the real black gangsters of Las Vegas, because we also know that Vegas was built on gangsters. So these guys, man, is some of the real guys that I knew and I met and I still talk to. All of these guys is tied into Melvin Butler, which Melvin Butler is all tied into this business all over the country, and we're gonna really put out this series or this franchise of Melvin Butler connections, or Melvin Butler's friends, and just to let everybody know that Ricky and Butch have given me the green light to talk about them in the business and talk about how they was there, when Suge Knight was in college, and when Suge Knight ended up catching a case. I don't know what he did, but I know he was supposed to go play for Frisco, and he got into it with one of the guys in Vegas, and it happened that I don't know if Suge had to leave Vegas or Suge couldn't go play for Frisco, because I seen a documentary, Warren. They talking about Suge had got into it with somebody. I'm not going to say what happened, but I'm not going to talk about what happened. But come get the book, come get the movie, because I think this is the story that that we all need to know, because we know that Tupac got killed in Las Vegas. We know that they had clubs and everything in Vegas, but these guys, man, I think they've been running Vegas since they before they went to prison, and I know they don't really get into the streets no more. But I know that these guys was there when Suge was in college, and a lot of times, man, people don't really get their just due. But I am letting everybody know about these guys, Butch and Ricky from Las Vegas, and this is gonna be a big series, because these guys, man, is not regular guys. These guys was 10 years ahead of, I say 10 years ahead of me when I got to Vegas. So they was already driving Benzes. They was already driving Porsches and two-door Benzes and all this convertibles, lowriders and everything like that. Because I remember one time me and Puncho we bought a car from, I think we bought a car from Ricky, but this is going to be the bigger than BMF, bigger than anything that's on the internet, YouTube, Tubi. This is gonna be a blockbuster movie, series, documentary. Butch and Ricky, Las Vegas, the real black gangsters of Las Vegas, coming to you on a series. We ain't even tripping on the movies. We got to let all of this these guys with talent. They had talent inside of the prisons, inside of the streets. And how could see these two guys fly under the radar for so many years, and only people can catch them was the feds? They flew under the radar. They still flying under the radar. They done got a little older now, but their story need to be told. Their kids need to know that these guys went to prison. They did their time, and now they out. And I'm just so happy I can be able to expound on Ricky Butch, the real black gangsters of Las Vegas.